So I'm sitting here on what I'm hopeful is my last night of hospitalization for a minute. Realizing that I did that thing about 5 months ago in which I was like, I'm gravely ill, but I will provide you. Ah! Okay, sorry, that was my call button then. Anyway, that's all to say. I've had a lot of time to sit and think about stuff. My 5 months of realizing things. So I'd like to tell you a little bit more about what happened to me. Okay, so on September 17th, I went in for, this is 2024, I went in for a routine bowel procedure that at that point in time I was getting about once every 2 months, once every 4 months, once every 6 months if I was lucky. Just something to kind of open a recurrent stricture that I had in my small bowel. It was a totally normal day, slacking with everyone. I wake up from that procedure, it goes great. The idea is to give me more time in between small bowel obstructions because I keep eating things that obstruct me, but I don't have a lot of bowel to begin with. That's not true. I had a lot of bowel to begin with at this point in time. I don't really have much at all. So rather than going in and taking the stricture out, we're just going to try and manage it this way. That's been working for about 4 years now. Okay, that's chill. I go to work. I participate in a series of pizza taste tests. I meet a friend for a cheeseburger. I go to a beloved friend's wedding that weekend. I do notice that I have the worst cramps of my entire life kind of creeping up on me somewhere in between the cheeseburger and the wedding. Which, like, really, I'm sitting here at this wedding promising to hurt my husband if he tells anyone I have period cramps while attempting to justify it in my head as, like, the first period I had had since my colon came out, and maybe my colon was doing a good job cushioning my ovaries, and like the way I justified my way around it, knowing very well that something terrible was happening inside my body, but like choosing to participate. The way you can talk your way around anything, even with 30 years of a disease under your belt, is like unfucking believable, man. It really, really is. All that to say, that piece of bowel that we kept manipulating in this procedure perforated, exploded, fully exploded. Like, the thing just fucking blew. I had sepsis. It was an emergency. By the time we made it to the hospital, it was like full on. This is not good. She can make it, you know, like that kind of vibe. So that's September 23rd at that point. I wake up, we're all kind of cosplaying like it was a regular bowel resection, which again at that point I think that would have been my 20th, so we're already dealing with a fucking minefield in there of one, very little, but two, very damaged goods. It turns out all did not go well in there. My bowel never woke up from that surgery. Everything was so inflamed and angry. It's pretty routine to have this thing called an ileus, where it takes a minute for everything to get moving again after a big bowel procedure. Mine never woke up. It also turned out another part of my bowel near the initial leak, where the emergency had actually happened, also began leaking, just furthering like the sepsis narrative into my pelvis and my body. Just like so began 2+ months of hospitalization, in which there's a full month in there I have access to anymore. I don't have access to anything that happened. I have memories of NG tubes and just thousands and thousands of milliliters of fluids just being pulled from my body in different directions because I couldn't do it myself. And missing my miracle daughter's birthday You know, after having like fought for her for years, just to miss this chunk of time in her life and not being able to talk to her through it because one, I physically couldn't, and two, when I could, the NG was really scary for her, for me, for everyone. At a certain point, they will not go back in to fix the problem because what remains inside my body is so scary and risky that they're trying all sorts of far-fetched fucking shit from the outside to try and, like, at least get me out of the hospital. Like, wake my bowels up, control this leak, get me to a place where I can safely just exist until I am okay enough for more surgery. I'm fully MPO this whole time. Like, this began a period of 14 weeks of TPN and no eating, no nothing, no drinking, no. Yeah. All my hair starts falling out. You may remember, I love my hair. This is devastating to me. It's disgusting now. But we'll circle back to that in a second. Anyway, they have like interventional radiology up in my pelvis, stringing my intestines on like a fucking pipe, shooting, this is not no part of this is a joke, shooting glue normally used to patch up vascular leaks through a catheter at a leak in my intestine, which had already like fistula, like I had wads of super glue inside my body on purpose to see if that would fix it. Like, we were really grasping at straws there for a while, in a way that was both very funny and not funny at all. And I don't know, there are other unnameable horrors that happened during this period of time that I just cannot tell. If it could have gone wrong, it went wrong. I was very sick and very scared. And I have been very sick and very scared many chunks of time in my life. This was a bad one. This was the worst one. Anyway, one of the Spider-Man procedures works enough that I'm able to leave the hospital with all the drains, the TPN's still in place. I'm down 30 fucking pounds at this point. I feel as though I am a shell of who I once was. But I'm home. And I can't stand on my own 2 feet, but I'm home. And Eloise can know that I'm there. And she can be with me, even though she knows it's not what it should be or could be. I'm home. And in certain ways, I start to recover. I see my body start to put one foot in front of the other. I can introduce clears. I'm starting to manage the TPN by myself. I'm putting a little bit of weight back on. I'm like funny again, so that's something. I go back to work. I'm so excited about it. Things are going. And I think, okay, even if this is not it right now, even if I am living half a life, because I really was, I can live this half a life until we figure out what's happening next, or until I need to face the reality that, like, this is it for me. I start to eat again. It doesn't feel great. I know something's not right. Having a lot of imaging, a lot of chronic infections. At one point, I'm on 6 different antibiotics over the course of 5 weeks, and then on antibiotics to treat with the antibiotics. It is a whole thing. But I can go up and down the stairs, and I can take showers. And I can spend time with my daughter unsupervised, because we've gotten to a point where it's safe enough for both of us to do that. That was a big one. That felt like a win. And get laid off from work about 3.5 weeks after I get back. My husband is unemployed at this time. "12 hours later, 18 hours later, food becomes unbearable. Nothing's staying down or coming out. It's the whole thing all over again. We rush our way back here. And I was fully obstructed and fully TPN'd again, and thought, every single thing that made me me has either very slowly or very quickly just been. And God, I just like hate how I look on top of everything else. And I can't get that out of my head, and that's like a whole thing I'm very fixated on, and whatever. What fucking ever. Anyway, we leave the hospital with a plan. They let me go because they promised to come back the next week. That was Thursday. I came back on Thursday. And I felt it was safe enough to go back in, open me all the way back up. And I mean, I have not had a belly button since the year 2009, maybe. But this incision is like, oh, it's fucking bad. It's a badass fucking incision. But they go in and they grab this piece of intestine that the whole time was giving everyone all of these issues. Everyone. It did ruin everyone's life around me. I made sure of that. It wasn't just mine. I take it out. One of the surgeons tells me it disintegrates in his hand. And I wake up, a whole other slew of horrors, post-op complications. They're so scary, but at this point, like, uninteresting. It's like not even worth it to get into it. And that's it. Like, I think that's it. I think we did it. Start weaning off the TPN again. Try and eat again. Because God, do I love to eat. Try and do things that make me feel more like myself, look more like myself. Be a good mother. All these things not in that order, obviously. Anyway, the whole I did this whole thing literally with the intention of the kicker being, you cannot keep a bad bitch down. Like, that was what I was trying to build to. Because I saw somebody say it the other day, and I thought, that's cute. I think I feel that way. It turns out you absolutely can keep a bad bitch down. Anyway, I think the whole point of this is, one, it remains a deeply annoying internet behavior to scare people and then disappear, which is what I do when I'm anxious. I don't mean to, but that's what I do. 2, B, I forgot how I'm structuring this. I would be lying if I said it didn't feel like there is opportunity in this moment for me to go home and recover, because Jesus Christ, I need to recover, for me to figure out what it is I love to do and do those things. I mean, I've done like plenty of reevaluating my priorities and understanding how I want to spend my time personally and professionally. We now have that opportunity too, I guess. But as a bad bitch once said, you cannot keep a bad bitch down. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm probably just actually going to start vlogging and rewatch Lost, which should come as a surprise to no one who actually knew me in real life between the years 2007 and 2013. That feels right to me on this eve of opportunity. All right.